Alright guys, we're back with another EZA LR Gobros video. Shit starting to get serious. We're taking on Cooler Core. The damage is gonna ramp up right now. The damage is going to start ramping up now. There we go, that makes a lot more sense. This is actually a really good starting rotation for us. Berku's already here. We got some support from Z Carnival Goku. I thought I'll bring him along again so we can get that support. It doesn't quite kind of make up for the defense we're missing from All in the Family, but at least it gives Gobros a bit extra. Gives him more attack as well, which I'm definitely not going to turn down. Really annoying how you decide to super attack Berku straight away. Like, at least give him a little nudge first so he gets his extra defense, then super him. But it's fine, we move. And the fact they're on turn 1 is good. It means we can get 2 appearances out of them rather than 1 and get their passive somewhat built up before we do go against the big mean machine Cooler Core. But they should be fine here. I think a super attack may tickle them a bit in terms of damage. But other than that, I feel like they should be... We really aren't getting additional supers with Gobros anymore. Like, I don't know what's happened. Like, we ain't getting them. I mean, at least their passive's still going. Of course, double digits, which is good, even with type disadvantage. But we are not getting an additional super for shit right now. I don't know what's happened. We've gone from getting them like all the time without fail, including the potential system majority of the time as well, to not getting like any of them. Or we may get 1. Someone turned the additional super button off in the office at Dokkan. Of like, someone's just seen and gone, no, that's happening too much. Like, and just flipped the switch. I don't understand. Where's my additional supers gone? Why am I now getting really unlucky to not get any of them? I've gone from one end of the spectrum to the other. Don't know what's happened. Damn, we've got all 3 Godkus on one rotation. Okay. Do you know what? I'm gonna leave it like this because both Dokkan Fest Godkus need to stack. So we'll just leave them both on main rotation for now, and then the next time they appear, we'll rotate one of them off. Can't remember what I was saying, but we keep it stepping. I've also got Carnival Future Gohan here as well, just for a little bit of extra help with the domain eventually as well, which we can, of course, do some more damage against Cooler Core with Gobros with that active. Damn, Cooler, you must really hate. I mean, yeah, you do hate Goku in a sense, but like, why are you here with so much vim right now? Doesn't even attack Goku to give him the extra defense. He's just straight in there with the supers, just not wasting any time whatsoever. Any whatsoever. So I think we done 4 attacks last turn. Only one of them was the super attack, which is the initial one. We're gonna have a repeat this time. Seriously. Finally, we've got an additional super attack. All right, we're 4 attacks down on this turn as well. So we're 8 attacks deep. Only 2 more attacks and their passive is fully done. How much are they going to tank here? Type disadvantage. They're pretty much almost fully built up. The super... Damn. What? I mean, we didn't have that much health left, but 490k. They were almost fully built up as well. Yeah, as I said, they are a lot of fun to use. They are strong, but they can definitely get you caught. All right, we're back in the same place as we was before. The only annoying thing is that the additional supers for these guys still aren't popping. And I mean, literally, I was talking about this just before that. I mean, I'm gonna use an item because if I've died actually a second time trying to get back here, funny enough. But yeah, a bit of a coincidence. I was literally talking about this as we kind of died. Is again, while they have been a lot of fun to use, while they are very strong, very strong. Like again, you're stacking the entire time. You know, once you build up their passive, somewhat like the majority of it, they're good to go. Then you have the fact that you finish out building up their passive. You know, again, they're stacking the entire time. They can additional super a plethora of times in one turn while pulling out 10, 12, maybe 14, 15, 16 million attack stats, which is insane. Hit any crits along the way as well. That's a ton of damage. But It's kind of a standard to be able to tank normals in the game for double digits, which they definitely can do. As I said, the only ones they can't do, as we've seen, is Fusions and Marsu. But them tanking supers, I mean, we've also seen as well, they can be hit with a super. They can be hit by like 300k, maybe 400k, but they won't die, which is good. But I think we really are seeing how vulnerable and how techy it can get very quickly with these two. One thing that is against them though, which I've noticed, is there is a plethora of difficult int enemies or int phases against enemies. First and last phase of Red Zone and Mega. First phase of this, which is early for them because they're building, which is even worse for them. Fusions and Marsu is this, but even worse because of the AoEs. 500k on a basic, 1.2, 1.3 on a super in the very beginning. And again, it's literally as soon as you start and they're trying to build up, which makes things incredibly risky for them. So that is one thing. Tech units naturally are having a tough time right now just because of the way difficult content is and the amount of phases that contain int enemies. So there is that. But I think their flaws really are showing now the more difficult it gets. And I think it kind of shows how lucky we got against Fusions and Marsu in terms of them not getting supered. You know, how many additional supers we were getting. Because if they super once, twice, a super attack from like the upper echelon of difficult enemies from like Cooler Core, maybe Broly, Shadow Dragon Sin, Shadow Dragon Omega eventually when we get him, Fusions and Marsu obviously. They're starting to really deal some damage to these guys. Like Fusions and Marsu without an item, they will get one-shotted. Like 1.6, 7, 8 million is too much. Even if they did super attack 4 times, it's just too much. Some of the easier ones compared to Zamasu, like Cooler Core and that, and Broly. Obviously against Broly they have type advantage. It all depends how much or how many times they additional super. I don't think they'll die if they don't, but obviously the more super attacks you do, the better they're going to tank because the more defense they're going to have that turn. So they are fully built up. We also have the support from Z Carnival Goku. One thing's for certain, definitely going to do some damage. No item active, 1 attack in slot 2. Just 1. So of course the damage is like, this is what I mean, there's damage in abundance with these guys, which is kind of the trade-off. They can do so much damage, right? So much damage. I said with the stacking, because they're only getting stronger, they can super attack anywhere from once to 3 times, 4 times with a potential system in 1 turn, while those attacks are constantly stacking as well. For future turns, basic done double digits, which is good, but we kind of expect that. Any crits along the way is good. Once their passive is fully built up, they're good to go. Like, they can do so much damage. Their potential of the amount of damage they can do is generally insane. Because if we hit additional supers there, that's one of them just doing, what we're on, like 18 million? And then the rest of them. If we hit 3 additional supers that turn, or even 2 more, we would have done some crazy... I mean, we've done crazy damage anyway, but we would have done a plethora of damage. Like, tons. Now, we are... Even though he can't get supered, I'm still going to give Godku the 6 key to it so he guards and have more dodge chance in that 3rd slot. So naturally, with a unit that is that strong, you're going to have a trade-off in the kind of defensive department. Which is why I'm kind of okay with them not having as much defense as I guess you can say they really need. Because they can still compete. They can still compete. Obviously, how well they tank supers against the harder enemies in the game is all depending on how many times they super attack. Which, you know, can go from you super attack 3-4 times in 1 turn to once. You know, we've literally seen it in this one video alone. What happens when the additional supers don't pop. Of course, we're also missing the All in the Family link, which gives them 20% defense. That's a lot to miss out on. Like, the support from Z Carnival Goku is only giving them so much extra defense. But they can very easily get you caught. That is definitely plain to see at this point. They can very easily get you caught. As I said, I don't think they can get one shot by majority of enemies in the game. I think if you would get incredibly unlucky and didn't get any additional supers at all, I feel like you will either get one shot or take a ton of damage where you're almost dead. If the super attacks do pop for you, which is where the inconsistency of relying on RNG comes in, but you kind of have multiple outlets to do additional super, so it's kind of a case of it happens more often than not, the additional supers. You will take a chunk, like we're looking probably between 3 to 400k, maybe 200k depending on the enemy and typings. So they may take a chunk, but they won't get you killed. Zamasu is the only one for a fact they can't compete against. Cooler Core, I definitely think could easily catch these two. But again, I feel like if all the additional supers do pop for you, I feel like they will take a lot of damage, but I don't think they'll get you one shot. And again, if you use an item, they're definitely fine. If you use an item against any of these, apart from, again, maybe Fusion Zamasu, they are fine. Even if the additional supers are popping or not. But obviously, if they do pop with an item active, they are good. They are very much okay. But yeah, I mean, they're still absolutely shredding health bars, but you can let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care, have a good rest of your day, and peace.